We're Rage Badger Gaming, and we're doing something totally different.
Yeah.
Today we're answering your questions, whether you submitted them to us or not.
And as you know, we're very active in a lot of social media areas.
That guy is.
Okay, well, I'm very active, and we found some particularly wonderful questions that weren't addressed to us, but addressed to the whole world that particularly tickled us. So we included a few of those there at the end.
First up, have you looked at any of the community-written campaigns or characters? Yes.
We've looked at some of them. Some of them are particularly great. I like Wilting Moon's Amber Aegis. I've seen a few of the submissions by Board Game 613. Was it Stinky Backwards? I like his... I don't know if it's made public yet, so I'm not going to say the name of the class, but he's got a couple, one of which I've particularly thrilled about, and obviously worked with Grand Duke's scenarios, which we did. We did some of the community submitted Frosthaven scenarios, two of which got picked, and some of which kind of fell short. Grand Duke's scenario fell short, but he actually has a really cool Artificer that's published that we may consider showing off. If you've seen our Let's Play series, you've seen we've shown off the Amber Aegis. If you had to choose one mechanic / element to remove from Gloomhaven, well, what would it be? I think ultimately, for me, I'd just remove some of the reputation elements, because the idea of interacting, if you have a low or high reputation, there's a discount, and the way it's designed just, I don't think was particularly compelling. And almost every group goes for the good path, and
I think it was a good idea. Maybe just tweak it.
Either tweak it or remove it, I think. And since, I cannot go further.
But no secrets.
It's a secret.
My answer, road / city events. I don't give a F about those.
Okay. There's a bunch of them that are just really boring, but there's some of them that were pretty neat stuff. I think you might like them better in Frosthaven. The ones that have been previewed to the community definitely seem better than just, do you do this or do you do nothing? Which there's some of those, and then are like, do you want to eat these poisoned berries or not? And then you learn which ones are what. I mean, if they were removed, I don't think it would be a big deal.
This next question is about me and Brett personally. First part, what do we do for work? Because, this is not our job.
Yeah, shocking, right?
The proceeds that go to us from this channel go to pay for our cat food.
And cat litter. Imagine that. I work in marketing analysis for a skilled nursing chain.
He does computer stuff.
Yeah, I work upstairs. I just go upstairs. That's where I work.
He works from home now.
Yeah.
And
forever.
That's been super fun.
Very.
Has caused no issues whatsoever.
And what do you do?
I part-time work at a gaming hobby store thing, and I like it a lot. I've been there almost 2 years.
How'd y'all meet?
We met in school. We grew up in the same town, and we have at least known of each other's presence since elementary school. We started dating sophomore year of high school, and we got married in 2009.
We need the real good shit. He proposed by putting an engagement ring in a Wrath of the Lich King collector's box. It's way more nerdy. See, look at this. She said yes to that. Who does that? How did you get into tabletop gaming? Well, my grades sucked as a kid, and then my parents took me to a child psychologist. And she's like, that kid would like Dungeons and Dragons. And then that got me suckered into the evils of a satanic gaming shop in Kettering. And I'm like, look at all these games here. They have miniature figurines of elves and shit. And I think that's how it started for me. And then we started dating when we were 15. And I'm like, hey, look at this shit. And I think that's how she got into it.
After Dungeons and Dragons, the board game that I guess that I remember being the transition, it would be Descent, because it was basically like D&D. I guess it was when Settlers of Catan was really popular. Like Andrew Luck was playing it, and you were like,
That's like a decade late there, but yeah, I mean, when I started jumping in, yeah, around that. I mean, we got like Descent Catan about the same time, yeah. When Andrew Luck joined the NFL, or a year after that, maybe.
Next question. How did you get into Gloomhaven?
Yeah, we're raiding in Legion, and this one dude, the Death Knight, was like, Gloomhaven's great, and I ignored him until you're working at that game store, and was like, everyone, this keeps selling out. I'm like, oh, I remember that Death Knight told me to get that. He was cool. I liked him. And they're like, it keeps selling out. Should I buy it before it goes on the shelf with my employee discount? And I said, yeah. And that's how we got Gloomhaven.
Have you enjoyed making videos? Depends.
Yeah, some of them are annoying. It's very annoying to write all the scripts. So, but no, in general, they're pretty fun. I like, honestly, the tier list, and just the list videos are the most fun. Some of the guides can be interesting if I'm like particularly enthused about it. Like, I really like the Sun class, so writing that and doing it was very fun for me. And I know you enjoyed like the Spellweaver bit. So it depends on which video it is.
I really like making the humorous ones.
Yeah.
Just because they keep me entertained more.
Chipotle.
Yeah.
That's the best.
I mostly like editing the videos, even though it's time consuming and tedious.
What's your ideal class in Gloomhaven, or perhaps one in Frosthaven? One of my favorites is in Frosthaven, and I can't tell you about it, but it's amazing. It reminds me of some of the like styles I do in some, like, when we make, like, we play RPGs, we tend to favor like spell sword styles, and there's one that's coming up that's particularly amazing. It's not in the starters, so I can't talk about it, but I do like the more upfront classes. So you'll find me playing like sometimes the Cragheart, sometimes the Brute and Sun, and another class that I can't talk about in addition to the other class I can't talk about. I know. There's so many spoilers in this game.
So I always like ranged spellcasty types. Like I like the Spellweaver. And I really liked the Music Note because it's a support character and that's my jam. And I eventually went back and played the Spellweaver again, and it was really interesting because I knew what I was doing more than when I was first learning the game. And I had unlocked all these new spells and stuff because it was a higher level.
What other board games do you like other than Gloomhaven?
I think I'm pretty picky. I do like the Harry Potter board game. I'm sorry to admit I like Catan because there's at least a chance that I'll win at Catan just because it's so random.
That's why I like cooperative games more. Lords of Waterdeep, though.
Oh, I do like Lords of Waterdeep.
Lords of Waterdeep is really fun.
We haven't played that in a while.
Yeah, we should. I play a lot of Kingdom Death, which is an amazing game. It's a bit expensive to some, the sticker shock of the base game, but I put
Naturally Bred keeps getting more and more miniatures.
Yeah, I have a lot of miniatures. Well, when I'm talking about that, Warhammer 40k or Age of Sigmar. Age of Sigmar, I've got like almost 5,000 points of painted Stormcast Eternals up there.
And then you have
Sigmar.
And then you have the army that I started thinking, oh, maybe I'll try to get into this, and it's just not my thing. My brain doesn't work that way.
So Wingspan wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It was pretty decent.
I was terrible at Wingspan, but I liked it. What about Frosthaven do we like? Like, what are we excited about?
I think the new crafting system and the idea of a crafting deck is pretty fun. You get like wood, iron, or metal, whatever it was, and having that value judgment of like, how do we build up Frosthaven, and then how much are we gonna build on our own items? Because if you spend all of it into Frosthaven and you're not, spending it on yourself, you're gonna have a tough time. Because a lot of times items will get you through scenarios for like stam potions.
My favorite thing is building the buildings.
Oh, yeah.
Because I like architecture.
And textures.
Like, I don't know why, but I like playing games where you're like building towns and stuff, and like you're building a settlement.
You wear a lot of metal shirts in your videos. What are your favorite bands?
So I would say coming to mind for you, Blind Guardian, Sabaton, Iced Earth, Camelot, Epica.
I'm like, you're missing one really big one, but go ahead. Rhapsody.
Yes.
It was bothering me. It was taking so long to come out. Blind Guardian's number one.
He likes power metal, symphonic metal, prog.
Epica, Symphony X.
I listen to more genres than he does. I listen to some pop. I probably like progressive metal more than Brett, but I do like some power metal as well. I like music.
She's taking too long to commit to what bands she listens to. She listens to Muse, Taylor Swift, Camelot, Conception, Billie Eilish, who I hate so much. So naturally, if you're like, do you want to listen to that? No, I'll put in Muse then. That's a good compromise. But we have some overlap in like Blind Guardian and Camelot.
What kind of food do you like? No one asked this question. I like Chipotle because I am a vegetarian. And I know none of you asked or want to hear about it, but I'm going to talk about it right now.
How can you tell if someone's a vegetarian? Don't worry, they'll tell you. I'm not, but I'm trying my best to find a nice compromise.
This person wants to know, what's up with the beard?
Yeah, that was asked several times. I forgot to shave.
It just...
World of Warcraft...
It started with laziness.
Yeah. World of Warcraft came out, and I'm like, do I want to shave? That's time I could be spent playing more World of Warcraft. So I stopped. And then I'm like, I could shave a little bit.
I'm just going to edge my 5-day-old beard. Just like, make the edges straight and stuff.
And then people will be like, oh, it's intentional.
Yeah.
Fooled them.
And I guess, like, someone saw you and said, oh, you look good, or whatever. Nice beard.
It was something like, no offense, but you look 1,000 times better with the beard.
Oh, my God!
Yeah.
No offense, dude, but your face before
sucked ass. But now, yeah, thanks, Portugal. If you've gotten this far, I'm sorry, but thank you for watching.
Reading this for the first time myself. Is it possible to effectively tank with the Tinkerer? Has anyone tried?
I'm sure people have tried. I'm going to run in here. I'm going to blow up the room. How the hell survived? You're tanking with the Tinkerer now. Has anyone successfully tried? No.
But asking if...
with the Tinkerer.
Can I run in front line with the Tinkerer? Why? Why would you want to do that?
Get help. After trying to engage many different times by myself and my numerous friends, nice humble brag, I decided the slog of Gloomhaven was not worth the payoff. One 4-character dungeon can take hours, even on easy, in quotations, and the only story move forward is about 6 paragraphs. I was interested in the story, the legacy elements, the potential reveals, but I cannot tolerate the time-consuming slog through the dungeon after dungeon. The crawl gets me out of the theme and I get bored, even though the combat mechanics are unique, interesting, and fun. For me, I have an expensive, untradeable legacy game collecting dust on my shelf. So here's what I've done to enjoy the game again.
And then he goes on
What?
to change the rules of the game.
All of them. Like, just read the road events and then pick a 4-character thing with their quests and don't do the dungeon part. He just assumes they all completed
Don't
their
do the fighting part.
Yeah. He's like, read the entire entry as though you beat the dungeon, but don't do it. Then just read the next story elements. Yep. Roll a d20 4 times for each character to determine if they did their battle goal. And he's pitching this. This is in the board game house rule variants. This isn't just like some guy posting on Gloomhaven. He's like, here's a cool house rule for you guys. Don't play the game.
Oh my God.
But still, like, unlock and put stickers on the map. Like, it's like, hey, if you just go buy a choose your own adventure book or go to your local library, get some of those. They probably,
I think they're called novels.
Visual novels. Yeah, so it goes on a little bit more, but that's basically the end of that post. The comments are, you can basically expect, like, why bother even doing this? Especially because the combat is the best part. Like, most of our groups, like...
Because he already bought this expensive game and it's collecting dust.
Put it on eBay.
I can't believe I'm about to say these words. 3 Spears character. Useless?
Yeah. So I thought maybe this was when there wasn't a wealth of information on it, but this was submitted this year in 2020. 3 Spears. Out of all the classes, useless. Out of all of them. I could see someone saying that about a few classes, but...
Do you know what you're doing, bro? Next dumb question. The answer's in the damn guidebook. What are you doing? Can I take a long rest and a short rest in the same round or at the same time? No.
Which is first?
No.
Like, all right, I'm going to assume the answer is yes. So here's my follow-up. Which triggers first? In this case, the long rest, because you declare a long rest before the end of the round, because you short rest at the end. At that point, your long rest will have triggered. You've scooped everything up so you don't have 2 cards in your discard. You can only rest if you have 2 or more cards in your discard. So since the long rest triggers, you scoop everything up at 1, you can't. So if you've committed to long resting, you're long resting that round.
You can't take that many sleeps.
I mean, I've seen our cats take a long rest and then take a short rest right after.
Has Isaac Childress ever officially answered what heal does to a character with a wound? Shall we pull up the manual?
It's literally in the rule book. So it's like, has Isaac ever answered it? Yes, many times. And the comments seem to be like, yes, in the rule book. So he interpreted that the rule that the wound claims the first point of health, and then the rest goes to heal hit points. Just only an official ruling will do. The weird part is, if you go to the comments, you can see stuff like, it's in the rule book. Like, no, he needs like an official, you need an official ruling.
There are no fucking Gloomhaven judges, okay?
The weird part is you can ask really obscure questions on Board Game Geek, and there's been Isaac and Marcel have answered them. So,
but why didn't they answer this question on healing wounds?
Yeah. It's never come up that to need an official. It's like it doesn't.
Why is no one answering my question? Can you choose not to draw an additional card if you draw a rolling modifier?
You can't not. You have to. If a rolling modifier says, draw another card, it doesn't just end. The funny part is, the adding some rolling modifiers is optional. So if you draw like a rolling disarm, you can choose not to disarm, but you have to keep rolling. You can't choose to not draw the next card. You draw a rolling modifier, you draw next card, unless of course you have advantage, and you draw 2 cards. The top one's rolling, or either one's rolling. And then the other one's a non-rolling. Then you're done.
Once you start a roll, you can't stop it.
That's why it's called rolling. How many of you look ahead at the treasure to see what it is before you even start the scenario. This thread had to get locked.
I never even considered doing that.
It's always annoying if you're like, well, I want that treasure. And
Dude, you're basically cheating.
That was part of the thread. That's cheating. And then
like if you were playing a video game and like trying to hack into like is this worth doing? Like,
yeah.
What's the shortcut? I mean,
if I run this dungeon today, am I getting any loot? No, you are not. Oh, well, I'm just not going to do it. It changes your decision making. It makes the game different. I'm just saying. Now, of course, there are people like, it's your board game. You make up your own rules. And sure, you can do that.
Oh my God.
Like,
I can't stand that. Yeah, I don't like the idea of changing a game just so you will win that game. Like, that's not how anything in reality works.
Also imagine just like opening a treasure chest and like, oh, this is the 5 damage chest. Well, better not loot that one. Like, it makes some of the treasure chests are put in the scenario by design that to lure people into looting it and taking damage. And that's into the group, like the balance of the room. You can do whatever you want. But it's like, I mean, to me, you have to asterisk it.
And then go on the internet and share your stupid changes with the world.
People can play how they want, and you can, but there's a reason why that thread got so heated, is all I'm saying. It's like, I'm cheating. Is that okay? You know what the answers are going to be.
Like, if you want to cheat, go ahead, I guess. Don't expect respect.
Don't expect respect. Hey, I shuffle, but I always put the crit on top of my deck every time. Who else does that?
Oh my God. I just recently acquired Gloomhaven because I am in love with this game. I played it on Tabletop Simulator a lot. I bought it mainly for solo play with 1 to 2 classes, but I want to get my girl involved in it. The only problem is she finds it hard to play and uninteresting. My question is, if you guys have been in a similar scenario as I am, and how did you resolve it? I need to get my girl involved.
Yeah, some of the comments are like, Thrasher consistently in some competitive games, then casually suggest a co-op. That a sarcasm tag, but...
I mean, it depends on how long she was playing. It could take some getting used to. Like, maybe she just doesn't understand. I mean, she's saying it's hard to understand or hard to play. I mean, it's hard to learn all the rules.
New girlfriend is obviously the only answer. But I like this one.
What? That was his answer? I'm hoping he's joking.
People
trying
are
to be
allowed
funny.
to be facetious.
Because otherwise it's a little weird. What other stupid things have you or someone you know done while playing Gloomhaven? Let us know. We want to hear from you.
I was just remembering the first scenario where you're running and Frost Nova them. And the first time we're playing, like, I'm a genius. Oh no!
I can hit all these guys. If I just fly in there with a jump, I'll hit all of them, and then there will be no repercussions at all.
That was a good time. Definitely learning Gloomhaven. We're gonna shout out to our patrons. We got Mega Shield, Mad Scotsman, Sean, Weston, and Rhinix. Thanks to all of you for contributing to the Inox tier. You guys are amazing.
Thank you.